What's going on, guys? Welcome to this week's edition of Culture
Cast.
Cast. I knew the word culture was in it. That's pretty bad that I don't know the name of our own show. Dude, we've had so many Power of Sound, Hi-Fi Fanatics. Dude, it's
Culture
gone on.
Cast.
Now it's Culture Cast. I mean, I'm just glad that you and I are doing stuff again
Yeah,
on
it's fun. I enjoy
a
it.
weekly
It's good.
basis because I was getting a little lonely, and obviously I can't really. I don't know. Live streams never. I enjoy them, but they never seem to have worked. They never seem to work out for me when I do them on my own. So I don't know how you do it every week, and I know it's super fun for you, and I know you enjoy it very very much. But it's a lot of work, dude.
I enjoy it when I'm actually doing the show. When I'm
Mhm.
not doing the show and I'm trying to find people to come on, that's a little more painful. But this is my favorite part, right? I love this, and I particularly like doing this show with you because we get to talk about television and movies.
Right.
And right now we're covering House of the Dragon. And
Mhm.
we'll be doing that every week that an episode comes out. And I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, George R. R. Martin fan, read the
Mhm.
books and watched the TV show and blah blah blah. And I'm really excited. And season four, I'm sorry, episode 4 of season 1 has confirmed some of my suspicions.
Yes.
So what was the big event this time out?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Every time I try to talk about this, you always like shush me and tell me not to say anything. But I mean, yeah. I'll be honest. Okay, so I was okay. So I saw when Damon came back
Uh-huh.
and he offered up his crown. All that stuff was in the book. So they're keeping pretty accurate to the book. So if you've read the books or you're actually like following along, with or you're reading stuff online that coincides with the books, it's probably like a huge spoiler alert. And of course, my girlfriend's already like, she probably already knows that what happens throughout the whole entire series because she loves spoiling things for me. And you know, he's gonna marry her and she's gonna marry that, and I'm gonna marry this, and I'm like, dude, let me enjoy the show. But okay, here's what was telegraphed, and I think you can agree with this. And here's what happened. What was telegraphed from the very beginning, from episode 1, was that Rhaenyra and Damon had a very uh, close, intimate relationship. In the beginning, it was somewhat innocent on her part. I think he had already the desire in him, but
He is a Targaryen.
yeah, like and
And
like they
you know
said,
how they roll.
I can't use the word. I don't know who the king was, or who was he talk? Who were they talking to when they're like, "Oh, the Targaryens," or they use the Q word and about things and stuff. Oh, it was the girl, the queen. Uh,
Allison, Hightower.
Allison was talking to Rhaenyra. Allison confronted Rhaenyra about the interaction that Rhaenyra had with Damon at they call it the playhouse, or the play
The pleasure house. So
pleasure
the
house.
the the,
Yeah.
the setting for this is Rhaenyra went to her room one of these nights, right? And she was there, and apparently Damon had left her a little note that showed her how to access a hidden door to get out, right? Because they've got Kristen Cole out in
Mhm.
front of her door, standing guard. And so she was all like, "Oh," and she's like, "There's a bag here, and it's got these weird clothes in it, and oh, here's a little map, and oh, look, there's a secret door." And so she put on the clothes and she went out the secret door, and there he was waiting on her. And he's like, "We're going out on the town and we're gonna have fun." And they
Mhm.
went out on the town and they had fun, and it ended up being in a house of ill repute where all the folks were in there getting their gangbang on.
Mhm.
And then he was all like, "It's time for us to be Targaryens and get some of this incestuous loving going."
See, in the beginning, it seemed like he was being cool uncle, right? Like, cool uncle.
Yeah,
Let me,
cool. Yeah, that
you know,
changed.
let me take her out. Let me get her a little drunk and show her, what I think a very very important thing that was possibly overlooked because of what happened right after was the play that they were
Mhm.
watching
Yep.
and how the crowd was reacting to the idea of Rhaenyra possibly becoming queen. Um, and that is telegraphing basically chaos if and well when the king dies. So the king's health is deteriorating at a rapid rate. And if you noticed, obviously Allison is okay. There was just so much that happened
Yeah. So
politically.
one at a time. So let's cover off on this whole
Okay, let's
brothel
finish off the
situation.
brothel situation. So Rhaenyra goes to the pleasure house or the pleasure place or whatever. Sounds like a strip club.
The
Oh
brothel.
no. First he actually takes her to like a medieval strip club, right? Where the girls are dancing and everything. And
Well,
then
that's like the entryway. I think that's like
right,
level 1. And
right.
then you go through the veil, right? And then you're like, oh,
And then that
big.
turns into a full-blown brothel where there's, people, engaging in acts, homosexuality. There's a little bit of everything, which in those days was kind of like, ooh, I mean, frowned upon.
Who knows? This is a fantasy world. We can't really make a parallel to
Well, I'm
normal
only, I'm only, I'm
medieval.
only, I'm only, well, maybe not in medieval times in actual in a historical sense, but in a Game of Thrones sense, I remember how, when Renly Baratheon and the Iron Fist were a secret thing. Anytime there's been any kind of homosexuality, they've kept it super, super under wraps and under the carpet
Mhm.
because for some reason incest is more widely accepted. Incest and pedophilia are more widely accepted in
In
this
this
show,
world.
in this fantasy world than homosexuality, which is absolutely completely asinine to me. But hey, it is what it is. So that happened, and then unfortunately, well, fortunately, maybe,
No,
uh,
so yeah, so they were getting hot and heavy, kissing, and they were gonna do the deed, but
but Damon couldn't get it up. So
yeah, he failed to
uh,
perform.
so he was probably pretty angry and embarrassed because
He
this is
was
a guy.
pretty angry. You saw his face.
This
He's
is
not.
this is a guy that has a huge ego, a huge ego, and this is something he's been wanting to do. So it is what it is. He couldn't handle it, so he bounced. He just left her in the pleasure house, and then she ran off. And then this little weird looking kid, very
The
odd looking kid,
was the little kid the white worm?
something,
The
like
the white worm is the spy, but I don't know if the little kid is the white worm or the little kid reports to the white worm. But the white worm is really going to be what's her face, right? It's the
well,
girlfriend, the
well, it was already established that
Masseria, not Masseria,
it was already established that Otto Hightower had Rhaenyra followed, right?
right?
So she was already being spied upon. So then Otto Hightower breaks the news to the king about what happened at the pleasure place or whatever. And then all hell breaks loose with the king. But then the king starts realizing the king's not stupid.
Yeah,
He's not, but he made that clear. He's not like the best warrior in the realm. He's not this, but you could tell that he is a good man and he's not stupid. So he's starting to see through Otto Hightower's bullshit, and he confronted him about it. He pretty much said, "Hey, he pretty much accused him of placing his daughter exactly where he wanted her to be to
which he did.
which he did, and it worked at the time because obviously the king was very vulnerable. He was grieving his death of his wife, death of his firstborn son. So it was a very strategic political move to have Alicent, oh, just happen to be there to console him, to
Yeah,
counsel him.
remember Hightower's like, go I forget the exact words, but go comfort the king.
Yeah, pretty much saying, "Hey, go give him some, so that way he'll be happy." So that is how the queen came about. Now, I think the queen's going to cause a lot of problems, but I kind of know how she ends. So it's more spoiler alerts from the peanut gallery over there. So I know how she dies, but uh, you know, eh, this sucks. You know why? Because in the first Game of Thrones, there
What,
wasn't.
knowing how she dies sucks?
Yeah, well, in the
No,
first Game of Thrones, they didn't really follow the books to the T. For
yeah,
some reason, in this show, in this series, they're really sticking to the books, to the canon of the books, and that's why it was a little bit better in Game of Thrones, where you were like, okay, what the hell's going to happen next? Who's going to
yeah.
die?
We
What's going
didn't
to
expect
happen?
this. Yeah,
They use the books more like a what do you
just as a
call those?
guide,
What do you call those things that I do for the videos? Like an outline.
for sure.
There we go. Like an outline. They used it as an outline, and
As
then
a teleprompter, what are you talking about?
they used it as an outline, and well, you have to outline first, then write.
Oh, that's right. I can't even do the writing, so
But yeah, it's a total outline. And then in season 8, it was just the book wasn't written,
yeah.
So, and I don't even think it still is written. So right now, these books have already been written. They're following it so closely that everything that they're predicting from the books is actually happening. So,
Right. So she went to the brothel. Uh, uh, Damon couldn't do the deed. She came back, and this is important, right? So we skipped over the stuff. So she came back, and when she
oh
got
yeah,
back, she was all turned on still.
well,
So
because she was drunk and she was,
yeah, she was
horny.
ready. So she seduced, I guess, Kristen Cole. And remember, he's sworn a vow of chastity as part of the Kingsguard. But she seduces him, and
I mean, what?
I guess he deflowers her, right?
Yeah,
So she's no longer a maiden.
right. So okay, I mean, if you're gonna do it, might as well be with the princess and the heir to the throne. Why not, right?
Well, yeah,
Um,
he's like just living on the edge, though.
just
They'll
actually
kill him for
just to
that.
harken back to Damon and Rhaenyra. I was reading. I think I was telling you this. I was reading about how Matt Smith and Millie Alcock were how that went down, because he's actually my age. He's 39 and she's 22, which
Mhm.
I don't think is like a gross difference. I think 39 and 22 is reasonable. I mean, it's a huge age gap. I mean, I think mentally,
The age gap, I think, is bigger in the books, though, right?
but no, I think Matt Smith's character is only supposed to be 20s.
Huh.
How old is
Damon Targaryen.
Daemon Targaryen in episode 4? Here we go.
Yeah, I have no idea how old he's supposed to be, but he's the brother, so he's got to be close to Viserys'
I mean,
age.
but then again, they were introducing the idea that the king marry a 12-year-old. So, I mean, obviously, everybody's moral compass is a little fucked up in this series. Okay, this is a fantasy series loosely based on the Middle Ages, when the life expectancy was about 30 years, and most people were getting betrothed in their early teens. Okay, so that makes sense. The fact that the actual life expectancy was dog shit back then explains kind of, okay, Alicent Hightower arrives at King's Landing when she's 13. She is 17 when she's 18 when she becomes Viserys' second wife.
She's 18.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rhaenyra is only 17 supposedly in the story.
Yeah, I can't find how old he is. If anybody's watching,
Whoa. So Viserys is supposed to be 29 when he marries Alicent.
No, this guy doesn't look anything like 29. He looks 49.
Well, Paddy Considine is 49 years old.
Sure, yeah.
That's crazy. So yeah, so he's supposedly 29. So he's supposedly 20. That's what you look like at 29 back then. Those are some city miles.
Yeah, I'm only 15.
Okay. So Daemon is only supposed to be 4 years younger than his brother. So 29, 25. So he's 25 and 17. Okay. I mean,
that's some Alabama stuff right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not unheard of.
So okay, all right.
Okay. So now we got the age. Now we got the legality out of it.
So she comes back. She
she bangs
seduces Kristen
Kristen, right?
Cole,
Yeah.
and I love sci-fi. She's all like, she seduced Crispin, but I'm sure he's been crushing on her for all that time, which I would not doubt. I mean, he who wouldn't crush on the queen, right? She was in the books. She was supposed to be the flower of the world or whatever, right? Like just the most beautiful thing that's ever been around, right?
Well, I love the actress they picked for it, because she is 22, but in essence, she does look like she's in her teen years. So they picked someone that they could really manipulate her age well, So obviously, when the series started in the beginning, she was what, 14, 15. Now they've gone 3 years later or 4 years
Yeah,
later.
she's up to 17 or
She's up to
whatever.
17, almost 18. So, that guy's comment, it falls into the half your age plus 7 formula.
Right on.
That's what you. So what would that be for me? 30. I'm almost 40. So
Just call it 40.
20
27 is the youngest you can
20
date.
oh, come on, man. Give me at least 25.
I couldn't even imagine dating a 27. That would be so horrible. That would be the worst.
Well, the thing is with commonality, I mean, and we can go off kilter for a second here because we're doing okay on time, but I think, obviously I enjoy Marvel movies and nerdy stuff and
Sure.
and stuff like that. So I kind of was forced in a way to go a bit younger, which I did. And it's worked out great because the commonality is there, and I don't know how that works with you in your relationship, but I like the fact that I can geek out with my partner and stuff like that rather than, sit there and talk about, I don't know, stock markets and real estate. I want to talk about music, movies, and geeky stuff. I mean, obviously there's conversations that had to be had like that, but I feel like adults, all they talk about is boring shit. Like when I used to go to barbecues and stuff with previous friends and stuff like that, the adults, which were probably maybe 5-10 years older than me, were talking about stuff that I was like, man, that sounds so boring.
Well, you would not be very enthusiastic about the conversations that we've been having here lately, because we're trying to remodel a bathroom.
Well, that's different. That's different.
And,
That's
and we are just completely aghast at the prices people are asking for that kind of stuff. They're like, yeah,
aghast.
We'll take 30 aghast. They're like, we want $30,000 to just put in a new shower, and we're like, there's a door, GTFO. I mean, we're not, no. So my wife's 3 years younger than me. We've been married for like 15 years. Dude, we watch anime together and all kinds of stuff, so it works out really well.
Can aghast be word of the week?
Aghast. Yeah.
Okay. So we're done with cyclical.
Cyclical's done. Now we're to aghast.
What
So
is
everybody
aghast?
out there that's watching, aghast.
Aghast is the word of the week. So
Yeah,
whenever you see aghast, you have to yell and scream like in Pee-wee's Playhouse. What is aghast? What is the definition of aghast?
Aghast, filled with horror or shock.
Oh. So this episode of House of Dragon left me aghast.
We were aghast.
We were aghast by it.
Filled with horror or shock.
Okay, so we're at the Crispin part. Crispin.
So Crispin does a deed, right? Yeah. And he, he's put his life on the line for this woman who will never be his, because as soon as the king found out, he was all like, you are going to marry baby, what's his name? Snap. What's his name? Laenor.
The guy
Valerian.
The guy that looks like Will Smith's son with yellow dreadlocks.
Yeah.
and a much better physique.
Yeah. So she's gonna get stuck marrying Laenor, and I'm sure Laenor is gonna be happy because she's supposed to be like the most beautiful thing ever, and she's gonna be the queen. So that means that he'll be able to be the king, right? So I'm sure he'll be all right.
I have a spoiler for that.
No, just wait. We'll get to the spoilers when it's time. Don't be spoiling it. So
I'm not the one.
As far as we know, as of this episode, the future for Rhaenyra is that I want to call her Marinara. So the future of Marinara is that she has to marry Laenor. And she was not aghast when she heard that. She was like, I will do my duty. So that's supposedly the answer for this stuff. Now,
Dude, one of the highlights for me though
uh-huh.
was how absolutely hungover
Oh, dude, he was so
Damon
hungover.
was. Damon was beyond. I've had those mornings that Damon had, and they're not fun. And getting your ass kicked by the king while being that hungover, and he just laid there and just kind of laughed. But he proposed a very, very interesting thing as well, though, because he wants to marry Rhaenyra as well.
He was all
And,
like, he was just straight up about it. He's like, I want to marry your daughter.
and the king's pretty much like, okay, I'm gonna banish you one more fucking time, and you better leave. Go home to your ugly wife, because apparently they call her what do they call her, the bronze bitch or something like that.
I don't know.
They call her
That's
the bronze
horrible.
bitch or something like that. My bronze bitch, that's what he called her. Um, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to have anything to do with the bronze bitch. He wants to be a part of things. I say, if it were me in the king's shoes, these people are weird anyway. So why not? I wouldn't. Okay, I wouldn't marry my daughter to him because he's just a. He's like Tyrion Lannister, Peter Baelish, and like has the balls of Jon Snow all in one character, which is really really interesting. But I would honestly consider making him Hand of the King just to keep him close to me so I know what the hell he's up to.
Sure.
That it would be my strategy as a king. I would be like, okay, my brother's crazy. He's over here trying to bang my daughter. He's out of his mind. He's killing crab people. Why not keep him close? You keep your enemies closer, right? Like, so why not make him now that Otto Hightower is not the Hand of the King, another thing that just happened.
Yeah. So
Explain that. Yeah.
yeah. So this really it took Rhaenyra to push Viserys over the edge to do that, right? She's all like, I'll marry Laenor, but you got to get your shit together, and you got to really see what's going on with this Hightower dude. And she told him what's up, and he was like,
Okay.
all right. And
You know?
he's straight up. He's like, all right, you're out, dude. Take off.
And that was a huge political power play on his part because now the marriage to Laenor will potentially solidify the two biggest, or most powerful families in the realm, and the only two families that have direct lines to Old Valyria. So, good political power play. I mean, the king was already doubtful of Otto Hightower, so it probably didn't take much
Didn't take a
pushing.
lot. Yeah.
Didn't take a lot on Rhaenyra's part to push him over the edge, but I'm glad it happened because Otto Hightower was everything he has done was to put his family in a place of power, in a place of opportunity. And even in the trailer for the next one, you see how he tells Alicent, make sure, Aegon's okay, make sure Aegon's the heir,
Yeah.
So obviously some serious shit goes down in this next episode.
So yeah, I mean, all our predictions, because I predicted that the king was going to croak in this episode. He did not.
I think he's going to croak for sure in the next one.
It's got to be right here. But they're still not time forwarding though with the actresses in the next episode.
I don't think that's going to happen until episode. I think she told me that it was episode 6 or 7 that's going to happen. So there's going to be like 4 episodes of. So it's probably going to be 6 or 7. Yeah. What's her Olivia Cook and the other one is going to take over.
Yeah. So I agree with I love sci-fi. So Viserys the king, he says, or she says, I can't tell, I can't see the picture. Viserys' biggest failing is that he doesn't talk to his own family, and there's a distinct lack of communication there, right? If these folks just sat down and talked, it would make a whole difference.
Well, I don't completely agree with that because there's not that many yes men within his small council. Everybody tells him to do something different that benefits themselves. And that's something that they addressed as well. They addressed that, a lot of, if not all of the people on his small council are self-serving,
Sure.
And that's something he was trying to tell. I think he was talking to Rhaenyra. He was trying to tell her that he's aware of that. He knows that these people are all self-serving. He knows these people are, just want their own self-interest. So I'm still sticking to my gut on this. I think the biggest political power play he could have made And it would have been a good show of power because Daemon is not respected amongst the the Narrow Sea and all that. I don't know. I think Daemon as Hand of the King and then Rhaenyra marrying Laenor is a good power play for Viserys. But Viserys has to come to terms that he's got one foot out the door, man. He's got one foot on the other side.
Yeah, he's got to be feeling rough. So
I agree with that. I do agree with that with I Love Sci-Fi. It did take him a very long time, unless he already knew this and he was just holding it in and just kind of because he's a nice guy. He's not a dick. He doesn't have the balls that Daemon has. And he doesn't have the political cunning that Hightower has.
Yeah, he's a very different person.
He's just a nice guy, and it just doesn't fit.
And I think everybody sees him as weak.
They see it. They take his kindness for weakness.
Everybody sees him as weak. But pretty soon we're not going to have to worry about Viserys because I do believe this next episode. So let's make our predictions. Viserys is out.
Viserys is done next episode. I think Rhaenyra will be crowned queen, and I think all hell's going to break loose in King's Landing.
Yeah. Now the question is, without spoilers, and if you've been spoiled on this one, please let us know who becomes the new Hand of the King.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm thinking through.
You want to spoil it? Hold on.
I don't know. I don't want to spoil it.
Well, you want to see what the book says?
I don't want to see what the book says because they're going to follow and it's going to be exactly it. I want us to guess is what I want. Could he bring Corlys back and make Corlys the Hand?
That is very possible. I think that could be a very Corlys is a hand, but Corlys is crazy though, and he's already proven himself to be disloyal to the king though.
You know what I think is going to be really crazy? So King dies. Rhaenyra is now queen.
Okay, I know who it is.
Don't tell us.
It's that guy. Okay. It's someone that
you're spoiling it.
It's not a big surprise, but it's nobody cool though.
So, but check this out though. What I think would be really interesting. King dies, right?
Right.
Now we have a queen. Rhaenyra is queen. You know who I want her to make the hand? Criston Cole.
He's more of
her baby daddy or something like that.
No, because oh my god, we never even touched on the plan B.
Yeah, the morning after tea
that the king sent over to make sure whoever she had sex with didn't.
Yeah, just in case, right?
I think he would be a good leader of all the gold cloaks or whatever.
City guard.
The city guard, whatever Daemon's old position. I think I still double down that Daemon would be a good Hand of the King.
Would he be a good? Well, he obviously can't be.
He wouldn't be a good king though. He would be a good Hand of the King.
Well, he won't be Hand ever because Viserys won't do it,
right?
And he's going to die, and Rhaenyra won't do it. At least I don't think she would make him Hand of the King. So I Love Sci-Fi says, I suspect the new Hand is the strong guy who advised him to marry the Valorian girl. Yeah, the dude with the really good advice. That guy, whoever that is, who I don't know who that is, but he has really good advice.
Okay, I know who Rhaenyra's, potentially who Rhaenyra's Hand is going to be.
Now, is Maggie Q going to be in this show?
I don't think so.
Because I'm looking at, looking at.
You're right. I think she is. I don't know. I don't know at what point.
She's going to be somebody called Divine. And for folks that don't know me, I'm a humongous Maggie Q fan. Ever since she was in that spy television show that's been years and years and years ago now. I think she's The Professional. No.
I really liked her. I really liked her in Designated Survivor.
Absolutely, a really great show. If people haven't seen that one,
Did you end up watching all the seasons or just the first one?
No, I saw it all to the end.
Oh, good, yeah.
I Designated Survivor, super good.
I think Netflix really, really screwed the pooch on the third season because, but
it was so good before that.
Oh, I know. Around this time we like to talk about shows we've been watching, but
Yeah, well, let's just finish off on this, and then we can segue
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quick.
yeah.
But anything else for this episode? The big things were um, the sex thing with the brother and or the niece and uncle, the new
Mhm.
hand of the king, more intimation that the king is unwell.
Mhm.
The weird sex scene with the king and his queen, where she was like ultra bored. I think she was knitting while they were doing it.
Dude,
Um,
honestly, if that ever happened to me, I'd be devastated.
Yeah, well, he don't care. He doesn't care.
I'd be like, "I'm
He's not
so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to
he's not
bore
concerned.
you to death."
Yeah, he's not concerned. Um, the brother Damon was cast out again, banished to his place.
I'm sure we'll.
She's supposed to marry Laner now. Anything else we missed that we need
You
to
know
talk
what's
about?
funny is that people were kind of dogging on Matt Smith for getting the role, and now they're all bowing down to him because he's carrying the show.
Sure.
Without him, I think it'd be kind of a boring show.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. He's been the interesting character. It obviously it's the Rhaenyra and Damon show, right?
Mhm.
And we'll see if that changes. Otto's out, Hightower. We'll see who the new person is. But yeah, this next episode going to be super changing, transformational because a lot of stuff's going to happen. I'm super excited for that.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I'm interested to see this. Show we just started watching. What's called The Devil in Ohio? It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix.
I don't think I've heard of that.
Yeah,
The Devil in Ohio.
we're on episode 2, and it's a really strange, compelling show. It's kind of like a horror show,
Uh-huh.
So we're edge of our seat. It's only like 7 or 8 episodes long, so it's a limited series.
Yeah, May, a teenager with an inverted pentagram carved into her back, shows up in an Ohio hospital. Her case sparks the interest of hospital psychiatrist Dr. Suzanne Mathis, who offers to put the girl up in her home while looking for a suitable foster family. Okay, yeah, dude, if a girl shows up with a inverted pentagram carved into her back, that's bad.
So yeah, not this. I mean, I'm sure this isn't going to be a big spoiler, but
Emily Deschanel is in this show.
yes.
Okay.
So when they're at dinner, they're having dinner for the first time in the new house, and the girl goes, "Are we going to say grace?" And you could tell the family's either agnostic or atheist or whatever. They don't really.
Yeah, they're just like, we're not doing that.
They don't do the religious thing. And so the dad was like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And she sits there and she does a prayer to the devil. And
Really?
yeah, but it was so it was like it wasn't like it didn't feel evil, but the word she was saying was praising the devil for everything. So um I really do like that. And I've been telling my girlfriend too that I don't like the type of horror like the Halloween, anything by
Sure,
Rob.
slasher flicks.
Yeah, anything by Rob Zombie. I don't like that. I like the Conjuring type stuff. I like stuff that actually could potentially walk on the fence of real or fake. You know what I'm saying? Like this could be real or this
Not
could
supernatural
happen.
necessarily, but just like
Not necessarily like uber
suspense shows. Yeah.
even some supernatural stuff because I do believe in ghosts and I believe in the supernatural. That's just my own personal belief, but
Mhm.
I think that when you're watching something, you're like, oh shit, like Paranormal Activity, that freaks me out more than anything on this planet, dude. I can't watch those movies. I won't be able to sleep. I think that
I hear you.
something's gonna drag me from underneath. So, but yeah, this is right up my wheelhouse of scary. So I like this kind of stuff, and I'm seeing it's basically going towards the point of the mother is somehow connected or somehow related to the cult that this girl came from, the demonic cult.
Interesting.
So yeah, so they both have the same scarring on their wrist from being tied up and stuff. So but yeah, this girl does have a big, huge inverted pentagram on her back, dude. It was bad.
That's
news.
crazy.
The kids don't want her there, like, and things are starting to get weird, like I would watch it if I were you. I would watch
Okay,
it.
yeah, I'll put it on the list. It's not something that would normally be in my wheelhouse, but yeah, since you've suggested it, I'll give it a look see. I watched episode 2 of The Rings of Power, and it's all right. Yeah, it's just
I've been
the
hearing
production quality is awesome, but the show's just all right.
I've been hearing really negative stuff about just the show in general. That it's slow, that it's not, I don't know,
Yeah,
but Lord of the Rings was a slow series, and the prequel they did was even slower, I thought.
The
So
Hobbit, yeah.
I
Yeah, it's okay. It's not super exciting. There's nothing crazy.
Mhm.
They've introduced the dwarves in this episode, and it's all right. That's all I get to say. It's just all right.
Mhm.
And then She-Hulk, it's still fun for me. I'm enjoying it. Uh, we're caught up on that one, and it's good. But the show that I'm watching now, that's 5 seasons in already.
Mhm.
Somebody Feed Phil.
Never watched
Dude, I
it.
love travel food shows. And this is a travel food show. So this guy just travels around and eats. And I'm
Mhm.
like, this is what I want to do with my life.
You're like, I want that. I'm
I
all
want
about
that
that
job.
life.
Dude, I want that life. But yeah, him and his brother does all the production stuff, and they've got a big, crew rather, and it's just him, and he goes and eats stuff all over the world. And I'm like, how awesome is that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's we've been watching that. Me and the boys and my wife when we have free time, as a family kind of endeavor.
Mhm.
It's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all I'm watching for me. Aside, of course, from watching, Home Theater Fanatics YouTube channel on a nightly basis, and
It is really good. You know what else I like to watch?
hmm.
Audio Architects. They have the best YouTube and Instagram out there.
I heard he's going to be doing a huge shift in content. Things are going to get a lot different. Things are about to get really weird, but in a good way.
It's all
And
the porn stuff, right?
no, that's a different channel. That's a
Oh,
different
okay.
channel.
That was his OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's my OnlyFans. But no, man, I got a lot of new stuff coming out. I kind of put that in my community page that I'm making changes. I'm going to make changes to my website. I'm going to make changes to everything. I think there's going to be a name change in the near future as well. So unfortunately, all this beautiful merch that I've invested in is going to be worth shit. But hey, I mean, for right now, I can enjoy my coffee in a branded
Audio
Architects
Architects branded mug.
I don't know. This will always. This is a symbol of how I began. You know what I'm saying? This is a symbol of you and I coming together, you giving me the idea, and me just running with it and creating something that I was completely uncomfortable with, completely out of my skill set and wheelhouse, and I did it. And here we
Indeed.
are. Here we
Yeah.
are, 2 years later for me, 3.5 for you. You're up to 30,000 followers. I'm creeping behind you at 14K. We're happy. We've both exceeded well over six, 100,000 on Instagram. Things are good, dude. Things are
Yeah.
good.
I can't complain, dude. I'm happy.
We're having a good time with this, and I think things are going to get. I'm just trying to read what's going on the comments over here.
And we got our super fan for the show here. I love sci-fi. Very happy to have I love sci-fi with us. And you're right, dude. It's your Tolkien fans. Oh, all fans are nutso. I agree. Every fan of every genre is all. That's why they're a fan, right? So yeah.
No, I mean, dude, it's been probably close to 20 years since I've watched Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. That was the last one I watched in the theaters. Great movie from what I can remember. I remembered going in there with very low expectations and coming out going, damn, that was really fun. That was a really cool movie. Long, but cool.
Sure.
So yeah, I don't know. I might give this show a chance. I mean, if there's nothing else to watch and I really want to watch something, but there's so many things in my queue. There's so much good content out there. I wish the same was happening for music. And that's the problem. I think music wise, we aren't getting that kind of stream of content that we could be getting, and it's just sad because I would really love some brand new bands to listen to, some new stuff to listen to. That's why I've been kind of gravitating towards Bandcamp, because Bandcamp has those bands that I that aren't readily available on Spotify or all these things, or haven't cut a distribution deal or whatnot. So yeah, I mean, that's where I put my music on, is Bandcamp. And I actually just sold a CD to someone in Canada, and I didn't
Nice.
realize how expensive it is to ship to Canada.
Oh,
And
dude.
I ended up losing any kind of profit I could have got off that CD. But thank you to my fan in Canada that bought my CD. I appreciate it. And I don't give a shit, dude. I'm just glad people are buying my music and having fun with it. But yeah, man, I wish they can make music great again. Well, just like they did, it's like they did TV shows,
It's all cyclical.
Well, the TV shows are back. TV shows are back.
TV, dude, we got a lot of good TV.
I think TV is actually doing better than actual feature films.
Oh, dude, there's no doubt.
Think about it. What's the last good feature? For me, it was probably Ghostbusters Afterlife. I actually just watched Morbius this weekend, and it was okay. It was whatever. It was could have been better. Spider-Man No Way Home, that was good.
Dune was good.
But that was like last year though.
It has been a while.
Wait, no. Wait, are we getting a Dune this year?
No. Next year.
When are we getting a fucking Dune?
Next year. We went through the new movies that were coming out, and it was fairly slim pickings, I think, for the rest of the year.
Okay, so predictions for Dune next year. Do you think Momoa is going to come back?
No, because I've read the books, and he doesn't come back in the first book.
Or he comes back in a second.
I don't remember. It's just, for sure not in the first one.
But he comes back eventually.
He comes back like a trillion times.
Dude, he kind of had like the best the best connection with Paul. That's the only problem.
He gets plenty of opportunity to talk with Paul for many thousands of years. So
okay, it's coming out in 2023. You're right.
Yeah, what happens with Duncan Idaho is that they create Golas of him, so they clone him from his dead body, and they figure out how to reawaken his memories that were stored in the cells somehow or whatever. So they can just resurrect him and make more of them, or make 10 at one time if they wanted to. So they just make more.
Okay, dude. Just an aside. Christopher Walken as Emperor Shaddam. Florence Pugh as Princess Irulan, and Austin Butler as Feyd-Rautha is probably the most genius casting I've ever seen in my life.
It's going to be good.
Because Austin Butler, this is right up his alley. Because I first saw him. Obviously, he's Elvis. I haven't seen Elvis yet. I really want to.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to enjoy it just as much as I enjoyed the Johnny Cash film with Joaquin Phoenix. However, Austin Butler, I first saw him in the Shannara Chronicles. And I have it on Blu-ray. If you haven't seen it, I will let you borrow it, and I would love for you to watch it because it's a very, very interesting fantasy elf type show,
So I've read the books.
Okay.
That this was based on. And I've watched some of the episodes, and they used very, very attractive young people in the cast. Right. They were all the women were, these like 21-year-old super hotties.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I enjoyed Shannara Chronicles. When I found out he was Elvis, I was kind of like, what? I didn't see it, but I see him totally as a Feyd-Rautha. Florence Pugh, I really loved her in that movie where she did it was almost like a bio. It was actually a biopic for the WWE wrestler Paige. I forget the name of the movie at the moment. It was a wrestling movie, and Florence Pugh played Paige,
right?
And she also played the Black Widow's sister in the Black Widow movie.
Yeah, so she's going to be part of the new Thunderbolts or whatever, Thunderbirds or.
Yeah, I think she's going to do great. I think, and then Christopher Walken. I mean, dude, come on.
He's awesome. He's super,
Finally,
super.
someone who loved the Shannara Chronicles. Dude, I love sci-fi is hitting it out of the park with me.
Absolutely. There's no doubt.
We need every Tuesday. I love sci-fi is invited into our comment section of the
We'll be here. All right. Anything else? Anything else to go over before we close it up for the evening?
No, I'm good, man. I got
Right on. Well,
got a lot of filming to do tonight.
Yep. Everybody out there, make sure you follow Audio Architects, both YouTube, Instagram, and newly on TikTok. He needs
I don't
some love on
really
TikTok.
admit the TikTok thing to anybody.
Yeah,
That's
you
kind of a
did it.
guilty pleasure that I
You did
of
it.
mine.
It's out there.
It's a
And then,
guilty
of course,
pleasure.
I'm Home Theater Fanatics here on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere out there. So if you haven't followed yet, please do that as well. And then you are on CultureCast. Make sure to follow CultureCast, and we will continue to appraise you of the newest cultural phenomenon that you need to be involved with every week.
Yep.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you, guys.